What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I want to specifically talk about those $2,000 checks that are ending very soon. I'm getting a lot of reports on that, so I want to address who is getting those, what you have to do to actually get those, and when they're going to be coming out. Also want to address a little bit of a stimulus package update for today, and also address the pandemic EBT news, okay? Because we got more states that are jumping into the school year pandemic EBT. So want to address that at the end of this video as well. But first, let's get into the talks of the $2,000 checks, because right now, $2,000 stimulus checks are currently going out. If you live in this particular state, then you only have until February 28th to apply for these before they're gone. We're also going to talk about $600 stimulus checks that are slated to go out to workers later on this year. And again, 14 states have now been approved for pandemic EBT for school year 2021 and 2022. So if you have a child, you could be getting a larger EBT payment very soon. But again, let's first address these $2,000 stimulus checks, because we're getting a lot of questions on these. Who is able to get these $2,000 checks? When are they coming? Is every single person able to get it? Well, here's what I can tell you. Currently, it's only the state of New Jersey. The state of New Jersey, they actually have a fund in place. It's called the Excluded New Jerseyans Fund. This has, I believe it's like $40 million that's allocated to this. So these payments are going to start going out, and they already have been, but they're going to go to undocumented immigrants. And so these are people that have been impacted by COVID, but have not received any of the funds from the federal government until now. So what we do know is that applicants have until February 28th to apply. And now if the $40 billion is gone, if they run through that money before February 28th, then the state's just going to close down the application process. So right now it's February 19th. You still got 9 days. I believe there's like 13,000 people still in the queue. So there's money that's going out. So the good news here, though, and the purpose behind this stimulus and why this is pretty good, is because for those that have not been able to get any federal aid so far during this pandemic, this is something that they will be able to use. Now, here's the issue that we're facing, though. This is something that many progressives have been fighting for probably for the past couple years, is to provide more benefits, more relief, more stimulus to the American people. But here's the issue. Progressives are falling woefully short here in their ask, because many are saying that they are too far left. Moderates recently came out and said that the far left agenda is hurting all Democrats in their hopes of retaining their seat in the upcoming midterm elections. But what does this actually mean? Does this mean lawmakers are going to have a tough time passing any additional stimulus? Yes. Does this mean that progressives don't have much power or leverage in Congress at this point? Yes. Progressives gave up almost all the leverage that they had when they passed that $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. We knew this going in. And the day after it was signed, and the day that the Senate was supposed to start voting on the $1.75 trillion infrastructure bill, the so-called stimulus package or American Families Plan or Build Back Better Act, when the Senate was supposed to do that, they said, no, we don't have the numbers. We don't have the support. And so that's the issue right now, is what we're seeing is Democrats are pushing states to provide something, because at this time, Democrats just don't have the power in the Senate to pass any bills. And they're just barely squeaking by in the House. So let's address what would have been $2,000 stimulus checks for residents in Oregon as well. Because what we initially saw, and again, we always see these proposals that are going to go to the American people, and it's a done deal, it's going to get signed. Well, Oregon once proposed a $2,000 stimulus check to essential workers. Now, this quickly got reduced to just $1,200, but for the unemployed that ultimately went back to work. Well, no, that didn't happen. Then this check got reduced again. It is now sitting at just $600, and the check would go to anybody that applied for the earned income tax credit in 2022. So that's where we're seeing a big shift is, okay, we're going to give $2,000 checks to all essential workers. And then it was, no, we're just going to give it to those that are unemployed. Then it was, no, because if you're technically unemployed, doesn't mean you are making a lot less money. If you're unemployed, you could still make a good income. And so that's where lawmakers decide, you know what, $600 checks to anybody that applied for the earned income tax credit. That's it. And that's also what we're seeing in other states as well, is if you are a low income earner or if you have children, then you qualify for this additional stimulus. And I addressed that earlier on this week. And my guess is we'll have more updates on more states that are providing some form of relief and stimulus later on this week as well. And as we do, I promise I will fill you in on those updates as we get them. Now, let's talk about who could be getting these $600 stimulus checks as well. Because currently the USDA has set aside funds to give workers a bonus for those that incurred any unexpected costs. Personal protective equipment. They had days off that they weren't expecting due to COVID. So anybody that worked in a grocery store, a manufacturing plant, on a farm, they could apply to receive these checks. Now, here's the thing that you need to understand. On February 8th, which was actually 11 days ago, this was when organizations had to apply by this date for this money. And if you're approved, the checks will be sent out later on this year. So, just so that you know, if maybe you're not sure the place that you work, maybe they applied, maybe they didn't. If you're not sure, just simply ask. That's all you got to do and just see. But for those of you that work in a grocery store, it's a little bit different, okay? These payments will come from state agencies. So, you need to be on the lookout for more information on this because as of right now, the application portal isn't open. We don't have any information on that yet. But as we do, I promise I'll fill you in on that update. What I can tell you though, you need to understand this. The USDA, they've only set aside $20 million. Okay? And this is for essential workers. So these payments likely will not be much. Now, I keep on looking that this has to be a typo. It cannot be $20 million with an M. It must be 20 billion. But everything that I'm reading, all the reports are $20 million with an M. So again, payments are not going to be much. Now, let's address the pandemic EBT for school year 2021 through 2022. Because here's what I can tell you. Right now, it's been very slow. Initially, we had like 6 states that were going to be accepted into this program. As of right now, we have 14. That's good. So I want to break down what states have been accepted and when the payments will be going out. Okay? So if the payment date's coming up, make sure you look on your card. Here's what I can tell you. Colorado has been approved, and the payout benefits for August through December will be sent out in June of 2022, and the payouts for January through May will be paid out in August of 2022. In Delaware, they will pay for August and September sometime in February 2022. They will pay October and November. This will be paid out in March. December and January will be paid out in April. February and March will be paid out in May, and April will be paid out in June. Now, before I go on to the rest of this list, just understand the pandemic EBT benefits, these for the school year. So if your child misses school and you got to miss 5 consecutive days, then your child would actually have to, obviously isolate or whatever. Well, by isolating and being out of school because of COVID or, whatever, or even, this can even go as far as, for weather and, power outages and hurricanes and fires and all that as well. But if your child is out of school for at least 5 days or more, and the state will pay an additional allotment for every single day. Okay? So just understand, you'd get, I think it's like certain states like $7 or something like that. So $7, $8 per day. So you get like an extra, $35 to $40 just for 5 days. That would be added onto your card, and that would come as an additional payment on these specific dates. So if you got any questions on that, you can also ask your questions down in the comment section below. But here's something else. Indiana, they're going to pay out quarterly, so not monthly, not every few months or every 2 months. It's going to be every few months, every quarter. Louisiana, they will pay for August through October and February. They will pay for November through January and March. February through March will be paid out in April, and the rest will be paid out in May or June. Michigan, Minnesota, and New Mexico are all paying out monthly. Okay, it's usually the following month. North Carolina will pay for September through December by the end of February, and then chances are it will be monthly after that. Ohio will pay out on a monthly basis. Rhode Island is doing something very odd, which they have two different payments based off of either private school or public school. So in February and March, that's what you're going to get. Just understand that starting in April, things will be paid out monthly. Tennessee is also paying out monthly. Vermont will be sending out 2 different checks. One is going to be from September through December, and the other one will be from January through May. The one from September through December will probably be coming out either already got to you, or it should be coming out by the end of this month. And the ones from January through May would most likely come to you either in June or July. In Virginia, they will pay for August through January sometime in March and monthly thereafter. And in Wisconsin, they will pay for August through October in March. They will pay November through December dates in April, and January through February will be paid out in May. And any additional months they would obviously pay out later. Here's what I can tell you. Pandemic EBT, both as just basic EBT and school year EBT, has been a lifeline to millions and millions of families. This has really helped get children the food and nutrition that they need, so it is seen as essential. One thing that I just want to explain to you, though, is when we see this pandemic end, right, we end the state of emergency, chances are a lot of this additional benefits that we are seeing is going to completely go away. This is why I'm telling you guys now that as we come to the end of this pandemic, just understand, if you're able to get certain benefits, go and get them, because when they're gone, they will be gone. All right? So that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Just want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. It really does help out the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one.